Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ECPPS Podcast. I am Clay Mercer, and we're about to give you news and updates within the Elizabeth City-Pasquotank Public School system. Right now with me, as always, is the Superintendent Dr. Keith Parker, as well as Board Chair Angela Cobb. Thank you both for joining us here today, and what's a special month for all of us here in the district here as we get ready for these graduations. And I wanted to start off the podcast talking about the graduation ceremonies. Obviously, Pasquotank County High School is coming up on June 5th at 7 p.m. and Northeastern June 6th at 10 a.m. And the Elizabeth City-Pasquotank Early College has already had theirs on May 21st. But let's talk about it. I know there's a lot of parents and students who are listening right now, and we can give them some updates and information of what they need to know when they walk into the Vaughn Center for the upcoming graduations.
Yeah, well, again, thank you for having us, Clay. We're so excited. Look forward each month to our time together on the podcast. So excited about talking today, but really proud of these graduates. And if you think about it, these graduates have their career as they know it thus far in their life has been a 13-year career. They have been going to school for 13 years, most of them, with the exception of our early grads. And that's a long time having been working at school. And so to get to the finish line and to be able to have the credentials, the honors, the scholarships, the pathways that they have, we just couldn't be more proud of them. And so looking forward to celebrating with our families for our two high schools coming, but also so proud of our early college graduates. Over 20 of them, a majority of them received both an associate's degree and a high school diploma in 4 years. We were able to, myself, Chair Cobb, and the board and others were able to celebrate with them last week. So proud of our early college. And then as we look toward next Friday night with Pasquotank and Saturday morning with Northeastern here at the Vaughn Center, couldn't be more excited about that. And also so excited this will be our first graduation ceremonies in the newly renovated Vaughn Center, and it just is such a beautiful complex, and the renovations are just spectacular. And so we couldn't be more excited to celebrate here on ECSU's campus. And so looking forward to that. But our schools have all the information families need. If they have questions, they can contact their child's school. But each graduate received 10 tickets that they can distribute how they choose. The clear bag, no flowers, no noisemakers, no prohibited items. That's been consistent with what we've done before. That applies. We will be running everybody through our metal detectors and security screening, so we are hugely advising people to get to the Vaughn Center early. The doors will open at, I believe right now we've targeted 5:30 for opening on the doors, but we would encourage people to get there early, get your seat early. If you arrive at 6:15 on Friday night and then 9:15 on Saturday morning, you're going to be pushing it to get in there by the time it starts. So just anticipate some lines and get there early. That way you got a seat, you can sit where you want to sit, and you're in there before it starts. That would be my encouragement to folks. We're just so excited. So anything, Chair, you'd add on any of the graduations there?
When looking at our seniors at all three places, one of the things that just impresses me about them is the level of poise and accomplishment that they have achieved. Last night we had our board meeting, or 2 nights ago we had our board meeting, and we recognized our student board members. And those 3 young ladies, I told them at the meeting, if you're an example of what our students are like, then we are so impressed and proud of the way that you represent us, because they carry themselves with such poise and such a level of understanding of what it means to work with adults. And so looking at our students, looking at their accomplishments, we really are just very proud of the way they've represented our school district.
And they have done a wonderful job. I am so impressed with what the student board members have done for the 2025-26 school year. And when we talk about graduations, this is something that the both of you have been through year after year, but it just never seems to get old. It seems like it's something you look forward to every year.
It's by far my favorite thing to go to every year.
We talk about this a lot. It's mine too.
It's hard to recognize the kind of energy that you feel and the pride and the just joy to see these young people, as they cross through this milestone in their life. So, I mean, I love the graduations and look forward to it every year. And it's a special thing to be on the stage and see these graduates
It is.
walk through.
So it is coming up again, Pasquotank County High School on June 5th at 7 p.m., Northeastern High School June 6th at 10 a.m. It's the ECPPS Podcast, and again, a lot of great things are happening within the district. One of those took place back on May 15th. It was the Memorandum of Understanding between ECPPS and Elizabeth City State University. The ECPPS Aviation Academy, if you could just talk about what it means for the students here within the district.
Yeah. Well, we're so proud of our academy, Aviation Academy, and it is the first of what will be future signature career academies that we've launched in our high school. So it's our signature Aviation Academy, and what that essentially is it's some work we're doing to create these specialized, prescribed, sequenced career pathways for kids based on their interest. And so aviation has been our first experiment in this, but we're really working deeply and doing some planning and thinking about how we can launch a signature health sciences academy. I think there's some potential down the road to look at technology and industrial distribution and engineering and manufacturing, but really giving kids an opportunity when they get into high school to have some things packaged for them that is bringing opportunities together. Sometimes high school, Angela was a high school principal, she can speak to this, but sometimes high school feels like, if you go to South Point Mall in Durham, and you just park your car and you look at the mall. I mean, sometimes you think, like, where do I start? Like, there's 300 stores out here, like everything. It can feel overwhelming. High school can feel overwhelming. There actually are so many opportunities for kids that you can get lost in the abundance of choices. And what we're trying to do is package some of these opportunities in some clearly defined academies and sequences so that kids, get these opportunities under one roof. And some of that is dual enrollment opportunities and internships. Those are two pivotal things for a high school experience. But the truth is, if you don't lay the groundwork and take the necessary prerequisites in your 9th and 10th grade year, you may not be able to get the kind of dual enrollment opportunities and internships your 11th grade year. High school goes by in a blink of an eye. It is a fast experience. And so we don't want our kids to show up their 11th grade year and say, oh, I want to be a pilot, or I want to take an aviation internship. We're going to work with you, but the truth is you've already missed some opportunities because it's too late at that point. So we're trying to do a much better job of getting kids identified in pathways early on, and that's what the Aviation Academy is for us. And the last thing I'll say here is we're thrilled because this is the first official partnership, memorandum of understanding, where we are giving kids the opportunity to dual enroll with Elizabeth City State University in the aviation science courses here. And we have had dual enrollment opportunities in the past. Our kids will continue to have those through the College of Albemarle. So proud and excited that we're increasing our numbers of participation in dual enrollment with the College of Albemarle. But this will be a new opportunity where kids can dual enroll at Elizabeth City State University in addition to dual enrolling at College of the Albemarle. There'll be some kids in their junior year who will be dual enrolled at the College of Albemarle and also dual enrolled in the aviation sciences program here. And I just think that's a wonderful opportunity. And we're going to be able to add this dual enrollment opportunity with Elizabeth City State to our students at no cost to our students. I think that's a wonderful thing. And then some of our students are going to move on through this dual enrollment, and they're going to be able to obtain their private pilot's license in the senior year of high school for them. And I mean, if you think about that, it's hard to believe that that's a real thing, but it's a real thing. You can get a private pilot's license in your senior year of high school and fly a private plane. And we're going to have some kids that'll be able to take advantage of that. And I just couldn't be more excited about those opportunities.
Chair Cobb, it's a special opportunity for our students right here in Northeastern North Carolina. It seems like a win-win for everyone.
It absolutely is a win-win. And one of the things I was thinking about while Dr. Parker was talking is the fact that this is another opportunity that our students don't have to leave this area to be able to access a viable career opportunity.
Yeah.
And they can work within their high school to do aviation sciences. They can work within the university to do aviation sciences. And then we have opportunities for employment, Coast Guard base, airport in Norfolk. You can stay in this area and still pursue your passions. And so seeing that come to fruition is really exciting. One of the things that I was thinking about as well, we just recently had in the district an event where students went out and did some job shadowing, and that is pivotal, I think. And we used to do, back in the day, the 8th graders used to do job shadowing on Groundhog Day. It was a thing with the district, and they would go out and they would visit in larger groups, businesses in the area. And I always remember thinking how cool that was, because if you had a student who had an idea of what they might want to do, when they see it, it kind of solidifies, oh yeah, maybe I really do like this, or maybe there's no way, that I want to do this. When I was 16, my mom was a nurse, and so I decided I was going to be a candy striper. And I went to Albemarle Hospital, and I was a candy striper for one day, and that was it. And then I realized that the nursing career was not for me. Thank goodness my mama loved it, but it was not my thing. And, that was a good thing for me to be able to experience that. And that's a good thing for our students to be able to experience that. At our board meeting, that was actually highlighted, the job shadowing day. And we had 2 students who spoke about their experiences. One young lady job shadowed an attorney, and the other young man went to TCOM. And they actually got up and spoke to us about their experiences. Another example of just how poised and well-versed our students are, because they both got up and told us, about what they had encountered and learned. And it was really wonderful to see the work of our CTE director, Miss Murray, who was a guest on one of the podcasts, and our career development coordinators and our business partners, because we had, I don't even know how many business partners, 20 plus business partners who partnered with us, including the chamber, and opened their doors to let our students see what a day in the life is like. We even had a student that came and shadowed Dr. Parker, and he got a chance to see what it's like to be a superintendent. And so just those partnerships and giving students opportunities where they don't have to go away from Northeastern North Carolina and Pasquotank County, and if they stay and they're excelling, last night we had Employee of the Year, and one of the things I made in my remarks was several of our Employees of the Year that were recognized last night were former students from our school district. Wow. What a testament to the kind of students we're producing if they come and work with us, and not only just come and work with us, but excel in their jobs. Yeah. So I think that's pretty important.
The fact that they don't have to leave Northeastern North Carolina, it just talks about how important collaborations are, and ECPPS has done that for many a year. The job shadowing, I'm looking forward to WRVS being added to that, because I think we have some wonderful students who do morning announcements and things of that nature.
Yes,
we have to bring them here. But I think this is great for the students. These opportunities like this, how it works for these students, is just a great chance for them, and it happens right here in Northeastern North Carolina. Doesn't get much better than that. So
that's true.
Love those opportunities. Again, a win-win for everyone. Another special event that took place for our students was the County Field Day. And this is something fun for me, because I remember Field Day for me when I was a student. The competition, it was fun. I wanted to be number one. I wanted to get me a nice blue ribbon. And I think that competition is still there, and it seemed like County Field Day was fun this year also at Northeastern.
Yeah, it was. So excited. Want to thank Coach Antonio Moore, Dr. Katina Waples, our elementary principals, a whole group, of people that helped pull that off. But we're able to bring our County Field Day back 2 years ago. This is our second year having brought it back, a tradition in the district. So excited about it, and we had a huge attendance this year. A lot of families came out to Northeastern High School, and it's it was funny because when we were doing the MOU signing with Chancellor Hargrove at Northeastern High School, on the football field, and we did the memorandum signing outside in the courtyard, but on the football, at the same time, simultaneously, County Field Day was taking place. So at certain points, kids would win relays or something. You just hear the whole eruption of screams and claps, which was great, but it was a fun thing to see. Yeah. Just we had a lot of things going on that day, but just really excited for these opportunities. And part of what Field Day represents, along with our elementary athletic league we've launched with basketball and elementary and soccer, is a belief that we want to instill, there's a lot of lessons in teamsmanship at a young age, and particularly for young children, teaching this idea that, most things in life, I guess with the exception of, golf, cross country, maybe there's some things you can win on your own. But most things in life, if you want to achieve your goal, you have to work with other people. Like, you cannot win on your own. And that's a big lesson. And then the athleticism, we want our young kids to move. We want them to be physically active. We want them to build their athletic capabilities at a young age. And so we're pivoting resources and a focus on athleticism, physical activity, teamsmanship at a young age in our elementary schools, and I think those are big opportunities for kids.
Yeah, I think so too. And if I can remember correctly, J.C. Sawyer Elementary had the most first place winners. So congratulations to those athletes over there at J.C. Sawyer. You're listening to the ECPPS Podcast with Superintendent Dr. Keith Parker and Board Chair Angela Cobb. We thank you all for joining us here. Now, the most recent board meeting took place on May 26th, and there were many recognitions at the board meeting, especially for our school nurses who play a very pivotal role day in and day out with our students. Chair Cobb, if you could speak a little bit about not only the nurses, but what White has provided for the school system.
Absolutely. So Mr. White has been a substitute teacher in our district for a while. I remember him substituting when I was there working as principal. And he actually stepped in as a long-term sub in our health sciences class, and he was there for the whole year. And so when you look at that, that is just amazing, first of all, that he was there for the whole year, but it gives such a continuity to our students. And so with him there, they know who's going to be their teacher. There's not a lot of change. And he was assisted by our school nurses. They went in and helped him with the curriculum to make sure that, the students were getting the health pieces of the curriculum. School nurses are so important. Everyone's important in our school district, but school nurses are so important in our school district because not only do they manage the physical health of students, medications, that kind of thing, they also work a lot with the mental health of our students. And I know when I was an administrator, my school nurse was sometimes my right hand in helping students kind of get through the day, whether it was with physical symptoms or mental health symptoms. And so they wear many, many hats. And then the fact that they stepped in and took on this additional role to help make sure that our future nurses and health sciences students could get curriculum experiences just says a lot to the kind of people that they are. Yeah. And so we're really thankful that they're willing to do that. And there's some phenomenal school nurses in our district.
It really is. So proud of what they do. Superintendent Parker, when we talk about the board meeting, there were a few other recognitions. If you could just speak about these recognitions and kind of let the people know a little bit about them.
Absolutely. And I want to share as well on this idea of nurses and healthcare. Want to also take an opportunity to highlight a press conference that we held this month as well with Centera that was located on the campus of Pasquotank County High School, and just really excited to announce that through a partnership with Centera, we have been able to add a telehealth clinic in Pasquotank County High School, which is funded through Centera, staffed through Centera, but will allow students on the campus of Pasquotank County High School and staff on the campus to be able to go into the telehealth clinic, which is located in the Student Services Department in the front office, and be able to virtually see a licensed doctor or nurse practitioner. And it will allow students, in some cases, to be diagnosed, treated, and prescribed medication. One good case example that we've been using on this is if a student in the winter months gets strep throat and they present with symptoms, they can just go down to the front office, they can go into the telehealth clinic. There will be a CNA in the clinic, staffed by Centera. Student will come in with parent permission, of course, be able to be diagnosed, be seen, blood pressure, vitals taken in the lab, and then a doctor will be virtually review the symptoms, and then if in fact the kid had strep, and in this example, doctor will be able to prescribe the antibiotics right there. So when the parent comes to pick this student up, the nurse is going to be able to hand the parent also the prescription. All they need to do is go by the drugstore, and then there you go. And we'll be able, through our partnership, to bill students' insurance providers, or Centera will be able to help us cover the cost for students on this. So the expansion of access to health care is a really big deal, and I couldn't be more thankful and proud of our partnership with Centera and everything that Centera is doing in the community here. So want to mention that. Also want to take an opportunity to highlight Northside Elementary, who was recognized as a school at the board meeting, and want to thank Ms. Prayer and all of her teachers and students for the work that they're going on there. Northside Elementary School last year exceeded growth expectations as a C school on accountability, and our students are taking their end of year exams this week for elementary and middle, and then our high schools begin on Monday. So I can't speak to exact scores right now because we haven't finished taking all the tests, and the scores will be embargoed till July. But what I can say is, based on some preliminary results, we are very excited and optimistic about what our end of year assessments are looking at right now. So looking forward to coming back in the months ahead and sharing some final results with you there, Clay. And then also we had at the board meeting, in terms of recognitions, we were able to recognize some of our morning announcement crew at Northside Elementary, which was Madison Umflint, Marcus Bond, and Jeremiah Riddick, three of our students who have really run the morning announcement. And as we were talking with you earlier before, some of our goals of getting some of our students to come do job shadowing internships right here at the radio station. So I think this is the crew in training. So we got to get them in here and get on some time. But just so proud of all of our staff and students for all the things that they're doing.
We also did recognize the math teachers as well. So our district chooses an outstanding math teacher from each school, and then from those, there is a district math teacher, and Mr. Powell from Northside Elementary was the district math teacher. And that program, I guess, is run through the North Carolina Teachers of Mathematics. And so the district level Teacher of the Year for math wins a subscription to their services, I guess, and then they're recognized at the state level at their conference. So we did recognize them as well.
Also recognitions, Teachers of the Year, you said recently took place also.
Yeah, so the first week in May is always Teacher Appreciation Week, and that's pretty much like a national thing. And so the culmination of that Teacher Appreciation Week, we do the Teacher of the Year banquet, and we recognize each Teacher of the Year from the individual schools. And then there is an interview team from the district that is consisted of a board member, the previous Teacher of the Year, and then several central office staff that interviews the top three. And then those top 3 finalists are recognized, and from them, a district level teacher of the year is chosen. And the district level teacher of the year this year was Dr. Ronald Boykins from Northeastern High School. And so we had a banquet where we celebrated and recognized each teacher of the year from each school, and then named the district level teacher of the year. And he will go on to compete at the state level to be a regional teacher of the year, and then a state level teacher of the year if he advances.
Yeah,
So we also recognize at that our principal of the year, which for this year was Lashikia Brothers from Central Elementary School. And then last night we had the opportunity to recognize and celebrate our employees of the year. And the employees of the year, that pool comes from all of our classified employees, and so each school chooses a employee of the year, and then there are some departments that, like transportation and maintenance and nutrition, they choose an employee of the year. And so last night we were able to have the red carpet treatment for them. That was the theme of the evening last night, and celebrate each one of them and let their families be in attendance. And so both events are just really heartwarming. You leave from both just feeling good. That's the only way I can describe it. And you know, again, last night especially, seeing 5 or 6 students that I had personally had contact with out in the audience being recognized just says so much about the quality and caliber of people that come through this school district.
I think so. Congratulations to them. And Superintendent Parker, during the board meetings, you usually have a superintendent's report. And I wanted to bring this up again as we talked about the student board members. If you could speak about the 3 of them, you know, how special it is for them to have that experience as they get ready to go off into colleges.
Yeah, we're so proud of our student board members. This year in particular with Natalie, Catherine, and Cheyenne, I think they've done an incredible job representing the student body and being a sitting member on the board. And for anyone listening that's curious about that, the board added in 2022 a policy that allows for a student representative from each of our 3 high schools to serve as a sitting member of the board, a non-voting ex officio sitting member on the board during their senior year in high school, and they represent the student body. And so they attend board meetings, they sit, they attend functions, and so I just think that's a wonderful way to engage students through leadership. And one of the things that I love about the student board member positions and seeing our students is just the growth that they make throughout their year through the leadership opportunities. Some of those are spontaneous speaking engagements, you know, and that can be a new thing for students sometimes. And so there'll be events where we may not know, a student board member may not get an invitation till 2 days before, or they'll be at an event and they weren't on the program, but then somebody will find out they're a student board member and they ask them spontaneously to say some words. So those kind of social events, leadership events where students have to think on their feet, they have to network, they have to dialogue with people, you know, it really creates a moment where they grow as adults, and just watching the growth of these young people throughout the years they serve on the board is something I love seeing. And you know, Angela, I know you've been close with the 3 of these young ladies as well, and I would imagine have some similar observations.
Absolutely, and they all 3 of them just carry themselves so well. And they've been so professional. And you know, like Dr. Parker said, they have opportunities presented to them. Catherine even spoke to the fact that she really wasn't excited about the idea of public speaking in the very beginning. And then when you see her now and you watch her take opportunities, she's one of the teaching cadets in the teaching cadet program, and she would go into classrooms and teach a math lesson. And, you know, so you see that growth, and and then all 3 young ladies have got such bright futures ahead of them. Yeah. And so we can't wait to see where they go. And how this experience has shaped them. And they had an opportunity to speak at the board meeting about what they felt like the position had done for them. And their words were just really inspiring. We're getting ready to start that process again to bring on the board members for the next school year. And so, you know, we look forward to what that will bring, and know that as every student is different, they bring a different flair and flavor to what our board looks like every year. And so we always look forward to that.
Yeah. And we had some of their opportunities, like I think Natalie mentioned this at the board meeting, but we hosted a group of researchers from Harvard University this year. And one of the things that we asked the 3 student board members to do is they essentially help plan a large portion of the Harvard visit. They were tour guides. They met with the researchers, and that's just an incredible opportunity for a high school senior to have that sort of exposure. A year ago, we hosted Governor Stein at Pasquotank County High School, and our student board members a year ago, Brandon, Ruby, and Erica, they helped plan a large portion of that. When Governor Stein walked from his car to the high school, they greeted him, and they essentially were tour guides and had an opportunity to take a selfie with the governor. So it really is our most premier student leadership opportunity in the district, and so we're excited to be able to do some interviews at the June 25th board meeting. Mm-hmm. We will be having a board meeting on Thursday. I will mention that to the viewers in June instead of Monday, which is our typical board meeting. The reason we do that is we are required to close out our financial year on June 30th. And for the school system, our financial year begins always on July 1st. And so we'll be taking to the board on that Thursday a closeout of all of our 2025-26 financial budget statements. And so the board will be closing out this year's budget so we can officially begin on July 1st our new budget. So that'll be the Thursday meeting, but we're going to be doing some interviews at that meeting for applicants who would like to be student board members next year, be able to announce those later that night. So excited about those opportunities.
Speaking of excitement, again, it's graduation time. And so this is a really special moment here. And a lot of other districts are dealing with the same thing and the excitement. I think a lot of our listeners may want to know what your schedule looks like. Once graduation happens, it seems like, they take vacation for about 2 or 3 months. But that's just not how this works.
No, that's usually not how it works. We really don't have, the school district doesn't really have a break, because when the last day of school comes, then you have work days where teachers are doing various tasks, whether it's closing out the year, whether it's packing up their classrooms, finalizing grades. Those kinds of things happen, but then we roll right straight into summer programs. So there's not a real big gap, and you have to staff those programs. So HR is really busy and in the throes of finding out who's going to be running what programs and getting those people in place. And there's not a lot of downtime. And so, and then we might not have as a board tasks per se, meetings or events or things like that, because students aren't here, but we still have business at hand that gets done in the summertime. We usually do our superintendent's evaluation in the summer. We're closing out the fiscal business year in the summertime. Usually we do some kind of retreat or training to get ready, and then before you know it, it's August 1st. The district does a leadership retreat for all of the district leaders. The board's usually pretty heavily involved in that, in attendance of that, and even maybe in planning some events for that. And then it's time to get ready for convocations. So there's really, it might not be as I don't want to say frantic, because that doesn't have a really good connotation, but it's not necessarily as busy, but it's a different kind of busy. Yeah. It's definitely not a 2-month vacation.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
And I've told people before, one analogy, it's maybe not a perfect analogy, but one analogy might be the Super Bowl halftime show. Like the players leave the field and they go back to the locker room. They sort of reset for the second half. But for the stage crew and for the event organizers, that's the whole hardest part of the whole Super Bowl. If you think about it, they set up, break down everything in the halftime show. And some way, that's what our principals and our district leaders, and for us, it's kind of like is the students, by and large, with the exception of the programming in the summer, the students have they kind of got a halftime. They got summer. But then for us, we're cleaning all of our schools. We're doing maintenance. We're painting schools. We're hiring new folks. We have just got a brand new budget. We're planning those portions out.
You're building class rosters.
Building
You're
the
doing
new
bus
classes,
routes. You're
the new
doing
bus routes.
yeah.
Doing roof repairs. So we essentially have this very small window of time to try to do everything that we couldn't do for the whole rest of the year when all the students were here.
Interviewing, hiring, training, onboarding. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a workflow, and so we try to take advantage of that time, because once this year, I believe August 24th, when the school year begins, it's game on. And so really for our school leaders and for district staff, our only time off would be the Christmas break and spring break, because we don't run programming on those times. Mm-hmm. Over the Christmas holiday, we do shut the school system down. You won't see our buses on the road, with some exceptions, if it might be, athletic, tournaments that we organize outside of conference or something like that. But you by and large aren't going to see our buses on the road, and you're not going to see the lights on in the building. But aside from those 2 points, the summer, any other time, we run all year. So we try to think of our vacation around the Christmas holiday or that 1 week of spring break in April. That really is sort of our time. But the summer, it's all hands on deck.
Well, we'll keep on running with the ECPPS podcast, keeping you up to date on everything that's happening within the district. Superintendent Dr. Keith Parker, Board Chair Angela Cobb, thank you so much for making this happen. Looking forward to seeing you next month.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Clay. Love being here. Appreciate you.